this time, we're going to recognize our brand new chamber members, and we are so thrilled to have these folks along with us. We have Alpha Laser and Imaging, a family-owned company that was started in a two-bedroom house in 1999. They started out refilling toner cartridges and have since grown to become both a Lanier dealership and one of the area's largest suppliers of compatible toner cartridges and machine maintenance. 2 years ago, they opened a brand new facility on Evansville's east side and have since continued to be blessed with growth year after year. They believe that as a local and family-owned company, their success depends upon the relationships they build with other area businesses. So please welcome Dan Goolsby and Ryan Brown with Alpha Laser and Imaging. The Dapper Dog is a new grooming salon located near Highway 54 right off of Fairview Drive. They offer modern grooming for cats and dogs, doggy daycare, and training. The owner, Ashley, is Owensboro's first national certified groomer. All services are offered at a fair competitive price, and they accept appointments and call-ins to meet everyone's needs. The Dapper Dog's business hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. So please welcome Ashley Coombs from the Dapper Dog. Imperial Lawns is complete lawn maintenance that you can count on, from custom concrete, landscaping, lighting, snow removal, hardscaping, water features, irrigation, excavating, hauling, land management, and property maintenance to lawn care and treatments. Imperial Lawns will keep your residential or commercial property looking its very best. Imperial also provides mulch and rock, soil, pavers, wall block, tools, and rental equipment. They're located at 301 East 16th Street. And you can reach Imperial Lawns on Facebook or by calling 270-685-2290 at ImperialLawnLLC.com. Please welcome Brad Davis and the team from Imperial Lawns. They're mulching currently. Little Bit Sassy is a locally owned and operated children's boutique at 125 West 2nd Street, with sizes ranging from extra small preemie, boys up to 10-12, girls up to 14-16, and even teens extra small through large. Little Bit Sassy has something perfect for your child. You'll find infant gowns, special occasion attire, casual wear, and plenty of personal attention for you and your little ones. Little Bit Sassy also has shoes, toys, gifts, small jewelry, and every color and size hair bow you could ever need. Little Bit Sassy is open Monday through Thursday, 10 to 5, Friday and Saturday, 10 to 4, and they have delivery options available. So please welcome Lisa Johnson-Miles from Little Bit Sassy. I've known Lisa for 30 years, and Little Bit Sassy is a gross underestimation. Sign Crafters, Inc. has been creating quality signs for customers locally and nationwide since the 1950s. Located in Evansville, they are proud to call the tri-state home. Sign Crafters, the most experienced sign manufacturer and installer to satisfy all of your sign requirements. So contact Sign Crafters sales team at 800-742-3655. Please welcome Sign Crafters. Oh, Sleep Number Owensboro. This is going to be such a testimonial, I swear. I'll stand up here and preach it. Discover the Sleep Number bed with Sleep IQ technology. Now you both can have the knowledge to adjust for your best sleep. You guys can visit the Sleep Number store located at 5051 Frederica Street across from Town Square Mall to learn more. Also, they're offering a special sales event for chamber members from now until next Monday. Just let them know that you heard it right here. No better sleep, only at Sleep Number, and I will tell you, I'm a proud Sleep Number 35. Please welcome Kay Dodson and Melissa Brooks from Sleep Number Owensboro. awkward, but I've actually laid in a bed with both of those gals. Just saying. It's true. It's on Facebook. You can't deny it, right? And it was all business. At this time, we're going to recognize these special guests who are with us today, our elected officials who have joined us. I'll give this disclaimer. We always scan the crowd. If we miss you, we apologize, but we think we got everybody today. Jason Hassard is here from Senator Rand Paul's office. State Senator Joe Bowen is with us today. Kentucky State Representative Tommy Thompson as well. Kentucky State Representative Suzanne Miles. City Commissioner Bob Glenn. Judge Executive Al Mattingly, of course. County Commissioner Charlie Caslin. County Commissioner George Wathen. Davis County Sheriff Keith Kane. And County Attorney Claude Porter. Give them all a round of applause. Thank you guys so much. Just in, breaking news, Dan Griffith from the school board is here as well, so good morning. At this time, we're going to recognize our Ambassador Chamber of the Month, someone who's going above and beyond and working on behalf of the Greater Owensboro Chamber of Commerce, and we are pleased to announce that this month's ambassador from Kentucky Farm Bureau is Allison Kimberly. We have goodies for you too. A ticket to the Global Leadership Summit, August 11th and 12th here at the Convention Center, and so you can look fabulous for it, a $50 gift card to Peacocks and Pearls. Congratulations. At this time, we're going to recognize our breakfast sponsor. Very pleased to welcome up to the podium the chairman of Go EDC, Terry Nolte.
Good morning. I want to thank all the board members of Go EDC that are here. I see most of them in the front. Thanks for your support. And a couple of things about the EDC before I bring up Joe Berry, our Vice President of Entrepreneurship. Go EDC is focused on 4 things this year: new business development, existing business, workforce development, and entrepreneurship. Joe's going to speak in a minute about the last focus, and that's producing jobs, significant jobs, and has the real potential to continue to produce very well-paying, meaningful jobs in our community. I want to talk a little bit about return on investment. We're all taxpayers here in this room, and much of the EDC's funding comes from government, but a lot of our funding also comes from private entities, private businesses. In 2016 and 17, our private funding will be greater than any single government funder this year, so we're proud of that accomplishment. The chart shows public, private, and direct business investment on projects that the EDC worked on over the last 3 years. For every $1 that is invested in EDC, a business has invested $322 in our economy. And to put that in perspective, if you took that money and you invested it in the S&P 500, the return on investment would have been about $13,124 last year. Or an investment in the EDC would have returned $51,628,000 in our local economy. So really good return on investment. I'd be willing to invest my money in that. So, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to Joe Berry, Vice President of Entrepreneurship.
Good morning. On behalf of the staff of the Greater Owensboro Economic Development Corporation, I'd like to express our appreciation to our Board of Directors. Thank you all for being here today. Also to our local elected officials, thank you for your investment and your support in us. To the Chamber, thank you all for having us. And to all of you, thank you all for giving us the opportunity on a daily basis to serve you by trying to bring new investment and new jobs into this community. You know, economic development is often talked about as the recruiting and retention of new industry, and that's important. That's a very important component of what we do. But I wanted to take a few moments today to talk about what we do from our side of the shop and talk a little bit about our entrepreneurial strategy and the work that we do with the Kentucky Innovation Network. The Kentucky Innovation Network is a statewide coalition. There are 12 offices around the state. Our particular office covers not only Davis County, but we cover 10 other counties in our surrounding area. And we're sponsored by the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development. And our purpose is to help create a culture of entrepreneurship in the regions that we serve. It is to empower entrepreneurs to take risk and to make investments, to start new companies, and hopefully grow jobs in this community. Since our inception, I want to talk about, we've been around since, Innovation Network itself has been around since 2000, but our office has been around since 2008, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the metrics that we have measured since that time, the success that we've had in the Owensboro office. We have, to date, since our inception, we have served 73 new companies, helped start 73 new companies in this region. And that has generated what we measure of new private investment of over $109 million and the creation of 346 jobs. Now those jobs are often created one job at a time, one investment at a time, one risk at a time. But in the aggregate, they make a huge impact. And so that is an equally important part of our strategy. It's something in our strategy that we're going to continue to pursue in the coming years. So we're really excited about that. So lastly, I'd like to talk about you all for a minute. There's so much experience, so much expertise in this room. And consequently, so many success stories in this room. People who have, creative people who have seized opportunities, people who have taken risks, they've started new businesses, they've grown new companies, they've created new jobs for their neighbors, they've created new wealth for new generations. And as a community, at the EDC, we feel as a community we need to continue to utilize that expertise in a tangible way to grow the economy in the 21st century. So it's with that ethic in mind, I'm really excited this morning to announce a program that we've been working on for some time now, and we're ready to launch and get moving. And it is Go Mentor. The Greater Owensboro Mentorship Initiative will be a new initiative of our office at the Kentucky Innovation Network, and what we will be doing is assembling an army of business experts from around the community to help us help our companies more, to have folks from a diverse range of fields come together and provide that in-the-weeds expertise that a lot of our growing companies need in order to thrive in an ever-changing world. So we've got our first 12 committed mentors that you can see there. Many of those are in this room, so thank you all for being here today. We are very excited about what this holds for our entrepreneurs in this community. The value proposition for the mentor is they have a chance to work with a company, they have a chance to work and work with an organization to help them grow, and our companies get a chance to hear from the real experts and to have an opportunity to learn from someone who's been there and done that and knows the ins and outs of business that you can only learn by being in the ins and outs of business. So we're very excited about this program. We hope that you all will stay tuned to what we have to announce moving forward. But in closing, I'll just say it is an honor to be here today. Always a pleasure to be at Rooster Booster, and thank you all so much for having us.
Always a lot going on with the Greater Owensboro Chamber of Commerce, and with your monthly update, your president and CEO, Candace Brake.
Good morning. The sun's coming out. So thank you, Joe, and thanks EDC for sponsoring today. What Joe didn't tell you was that his shop was actually the highest performing innovation network office in the state of Kentucky, and they have the lowest number of staff. So Joe, congratulations on all your that we talked about coming back, and he could have gone anywhere, but he committed to Owensboro, and those are the kind of folks we need. Thanks, Joe. Proud of you. Our golf classic is right around the corner, August the 19th. We're full, and I want to today just recognize our sponsors that we have, a lot of them in the audience. It's Friday, August the 19th, and registration of breakfast is at 7:30 a.m., and the shotgun start, I will be shooting the shotgun, is at 9 a.m. Presented by Owensboro Health, we have platinum sponsors of Adkisson, Hearts Contracting. Our team photo sponsor is Republic Bank. The golf ball sponsor is ServPro. And our gold sponsors are Alaris, Atmos Energy, Audubon Area Community Services, Beltline Electric, Don Moore Chevrolet Cadillac Incorporated, EM Ford and Company, First Security Bank, Hafer, Hobgood Financial, a group of Hilliard Lions, Independence Bank, Old National Bank, the Owensboro Convention Center, the Owensboro Riverport Authority, Ronnie Hancock CPAs, Southwire Company, Sci-Ho Insurance Services, Storm Insurance, Tom Watson's Prosthetics and Orthotics Lab Incorporated, and Wellington Park. Our host sponsors are American Engineers Incorporated, Chick-fil-A, City Commissioner Bob Glenn, Disaster Team Incorporated, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance with Gavin Roberts, Corson Fire and Security, OMU FiberNet, Owensboro Community Health Network, and RBS Design Group Architecture. And our silver sponsors are Business Environments and Community Home Health Care. Big round of applause for all of our sponsors. The CYP, Chamber Young Professionals, are having Burger Night Thursday, August the 9th from 5:30 to 7 at the Campbell Club. And then they're having the gallery opening with the Owensboro Museum of Fine Arts on Thursday, August the 18th from 5:30 to 7. It's a great group. If you're interested in sponsoring one of the CYP's activities, give Jessica Kirk a call. A lot going on their calendar, and we appreciate all that their executive committee has done, including Andrew Howard, who's the chair from Independence Bank. Thank you so much, guys. They're also doing some philanthropy. They have a philanthropy committee now, too, and they're having a backpack bash. So, and that's sponsored by Independence Bank as well. They would like for everybody to come join them for a free afternoon to raise awareness on the backpack program. And that's the program where kids at school who are facing hunger issues have backpacks that they can take home over the weekend that are full of food for the kids to eat over the weekend. And there's a huge waiting list for that. So we ask everyone in the community to rally behind that. And we're very proud of our CYP for getting involved in this type of philanthropic initiative. If you have need more information, this will be in our weekly email. Ag Appreciation Night is Friday, August the 19th, at Friday after 5 on the street fair portion. It's something that we co-sponsor with the Extension Office and with the Davis County Farm Bureau. Anytime we can get with those two organizations and move things forward in the community together, we do. It's going to be fun. A lot of local ag producers will be there showing off what they produce, and it'll be a nice time. Farm implements will be there for the kids to look at, and it'll be a good night. Don't miss it. Business After Hours on Tuesday, August the 23rd, and it's sponsored by South Central Bank at their new location on 54, a beautiful new building, a new concept in banking. The ribbon cutting is going to be at about 5:30, so please come out and enjoy that beautiful new building and listen to what they're doing. Lots of stuff is going on at South Central Bank, and we appreciate their partnership. Chamber Works, that is going to be our expo this year. It's September the 22nd. We're going to have a limited number of booths. We have an Emcee that's going to be there handing out fabulous door prizes. And the convention center is actually sponsoring it this year, so we'll have all of their food and drinks. It's going to be a really fun evening for our chamber members to get together and show off what they do. So just a good thing to look to at the local economy and how diverse it is and how diverse our chamber membership is as well. We'll have a limited number of spaces at a nonprofit rate, so catch the weekly emails. Don't miss them because it'll show you what you need to do from the nonprofit perspective too. But it's a good time to gear up towards our holiday shopping season for the retail people. Today, Congressman Brett Guthrie will be at the library from 12 to 1. He is having just a listening session there. So if you have something you'd like to speak to the congressman about or just thank him for his great service to Davis County, make sure you go to the library between 12 and 1. And we appreciate him being here and all the work that he does for our community. we have a whole lot of renewals for July. They're in your chamber matters at your place. Please look through those renewals, and thank you to everyone who has re-upped on their investment in our chamber. Look through that list. If you're, we always ask you to shop chamber members first, and those are the people who have invested in your chamber, in your business, and back in our community. So we appreciate you, and thank you all for making that matter, because it's relevant. And John Conti, thank you all for always sponsoring. We love you. Always good to see your smile and to drink your caffeine. And lastly, today at the hospital, and I'm going to read this to you. Owensboro Health is hosting a town hall discussion on primary care, mental health, and dental health, as well as other regional health issues with Senator Rand Paul, MD, and other area doctors. The event will take place today at 11:30 in the cafe meeting rooms at the hospital. There's a limited number of seats. There's only like 30 more seats available. So if you're interested in doing that, the hospital will work to accommodate people. But it's a great opportunity. Today we have an opportunity to talk to one of our congressmen and to a U.S. senator. So take advantage of these opportunities. They need to hear from the business community, and we need to help you all connect with them. So please take advantage, and thank you to the hospital for hosting this important thing. And Chad, that's all I have. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
About this precise time last month, we were forced to endure just a gigantic billboard-sized photo of the next guy at the podium. So this month, to make sure you can see him, he put copies of this magazine at every single table setting this morning. So you have a picture of Adam to take home with you. So please welcome up Board Chair Adam Hancock to introduce our guest speaker.
What you don't know about that picture was I arrived there early. Candace called me last minute to fill in for someone. Actually, when I got there, they wrapped me all the way around in tape. Well, one of them was late, and I sat there for 20 minutes, wrapped up waiting for my picture. So that was not very fun. I'd like to thank EDC for being our sponsor this morning and for also being our partner. Extremely hard work that you all do. We appreciate everything you do. Our guest speaker I had the privilege of meeting last night. He's a wonderful guy, and I can't wait to introduce him. Kevin Canafax is Vice President of Public Affairs for Fidelity Investments. He leads a public affairs team responsible for public policy, government relations, and community relations initiatives for Fidelity in Kentucky, Ohio, and Greater Cincinnati. As part of his role, Kevin leads the firm's community relations initiatives in the Midwest region. He joined Fidelity in 1994 as Director in Regional Communications and Public Affairs. Throughout his tenure career, he has introduced many successful cross-regional and cross-company strategic initiatives. He has a degree in Broadcast Management Arts from Southern Ohio College and a Master of Science degree in Business Administration from Xavier University. Go Musketeers! Joe would like that. He is also a graduate of Leadership Cincinnati and Leadership Kentucky programs. In the community, he's involved in a lot of different things. He briefly wrote a few things this morning. He's also the chair of the Kentucky Chamber. He's on boards of the Cincinnati Chamber. He's on the Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky International Airport Board, and also sits on the Cincinnati Business Committee. In Leadership Kentucky, he was also Bart Darrell's roommate. So give a big welcome to Kevin Canafax.
So I don't know what kind of capital I will accumulate having room with Bart Darrell. So I'll welcome any feedback any of you may have on that subject after the presentation. But it's great to be here. I want to acknowledge Dr. Diane Hatchett, who delivered the invocation. She happens to be a graduate of our Principal Leadership Institute, which is an outstanding program at the Kentucky Chamber. And she's one of the many shining examples of school principals from throughout the Commonwealth who have gone through this program and are out there doing outstanding work. So let's give her a hand. So as I like to say, I love to be back in Owensboro. I do feel a kindred spirit here because I grew up in Newport, Kentucky, which is a river city. I don't know how many of you visited Newport, but it's directly across the river from Cincinnati. I actually grew up a bridge away from Riverfront Stadium. So I spent more time in downtown Cincinnati than I did anywhere in Kentucky. And of course, the Licking River in my part of the state is as wide as the Ohio River, separating Campbell and Kenton counties. So, it's interesting how these dynamics play out in terms of relationships, be they political, business. Some things never change, but it's important that we all cooperate and we all communicate. And you've done an outstanding job of that here. When I look at your riverfront, the first time I came to Owensboro was 1992. And the transformation that's occurred here is very similar to what's happened in Newport, Kentucky. If any of you, I mentioned, have visited there recently with the levee and the hotels and the commercial and residential development that's going up. So kudos to all of you, congratulations. You are really making things happen here, and that's very exciting, not only for this part of the state, but representing the Kentucky State Chamber. We're very proud of our association and relationship with you. I also have to mention that I have these brushes with celebrity when I come to Owensboro. So in 1992, the first time I was here, I was with the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce Executives organization. I actually worked with the chamber many, many years ago. And I remember being at the Holiday Inn, and it was a stand-up comic performing, and I thought he was absolutely incredible. So much so that after he finished his performance, I went up and got his autograph on a cocktail napkin. Turned out to be Daryl Hammond, who appeared on Saturday Night Live for many, many years. He did these great impressions, and so I always remember that about Owensboro, because here he is at the Holiday Inn in Owensboro doing a stand-up routine. I think there were probably about 25 people in the audience. But it goes to show you all the hard work that those individuals put in to build their craft in order to go on to greater aspirations and accomplishments. And again, I think there are a lot of parallels between artists and certainly business people in that respect. But of course, my most recent brush with celebrity is Dave Adkisson drove me past Johnny Depp's childhood home yesterday, and I took a picture of the house to send to my wife and my daughter-in-law, who are big Johnny Depp fans. But I think probably the biggest brush with greatness I had is as we were going past Johnny Depp's house, we drove past Dave's childhood home. And I'm shocked that that's not on the historic register. It's not a tourist attraction here in Owensboro, because it certainly should be. But I want to thank you for inviting me to the Rooster Booster Breakfast. Obviously, this event has an outstanding reputation statewide as the most successful, longest-running program of its kind in the Commonwealth. For more than 50 years, your chamber has offered this forum to present new ideas, announce exciting new projects, and to hear from your political and business leaders. And so you should be flattered that chambers all across the state attempt to emulate what you do here. And the version in Northern Kentucky of this program is called Eggs and Issues. But I can tell you this is an exceptionally well-tended breakfast, and I think that's a testimony to all of your passion and interest and commitment to Owensboro. I want to quickly recognize Malcolm Bryant, the Malcolm Bryant Corporation, Chris Reed of Independence Bank, who couldn't be here this morning, for serving with me on the Kentucky Chamber Board. Malcolm is also on the executive committee, and he chairs our finance cabinet, and we appreciate all of his leadership. We also want to recognize Candace Brake, your outstanding CEO here. She's an ex officio member of our board. I'd like for you to give them a round of applause. Malcolm and Candace. So I volunteer, as Adam alluded to, in many capacities, including serving as the chair of the state chamber this year. But I do have a day job. My day job is with Fidelity Investments. I've been with the company 22 years, all of which have been in the Midwest region. And my job is very simply stated, I'm the external face of Fidelity for Kentucky and Ohio. So I interface with all constituents and audiences that represent government, also the business community, philanthropy, and higher education. So it's a wonderful job. It's a very unique job at Fidelity. It's only one of 10 that we have nationally, where we have other regional footprints. Fidelity touches, I think, all of you in this room, either directly or indirectly in some capacity, be it directly as a customer, or you may be a 401k plan participant through your company's 401k or defined contribution plan. And so if you are a Fidelity customer, I want to thank you, and I hope that we're doing our very, very best to accommodate your needs and to help you plan for your retirement, because our goal is a very simple one. We want people to be able to live the lives they want to live. And we do that through financial services and planning and products and services that we offer. We provide investment management and administration expertise on a diverse set of platforms for customers, from individual investors, as I mentioned, to businesses, financial advisors, and institutions. Worldwide, Fidelity has 41,000 employees, and we have 24 million customers. In the U.S., in addition to our headquarters in Boston, as I just mentioned, we have 10 regional center operations, one of which happens to sit in northern Kentucky. It's the third largest among the regional center portfolio. At that site, we have business channel operations that support our retail, brokerage, mutual fund, 401k business, and we also have all of our mail, or 85% of the volume of our mail from those 24 million customers comes into Covington, Kentucky through our inbound mail operation. So it's a significant operation. With 4,500 people, that would make Fidelity the 5th largest facility employer in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. As defined by the Economic Development Cabinet, that's having all of your associates in one aggregated location. So our campus has 4 buildings, 1 million square feet of office space. We have invested over $350 million in developing that campus, and it's very much like a college campus. So for some of you, I know on the Kentucky board in particular, have had the opportunity to visit the Fidelity operation in Kentucky. But it really is a crown jewel from an economic development perspective, not only for that region, but certainly for the state of Kentucky. In fact, when we announced operations in 1994, and that's when Fidelity really began to build a presence in Kentucky, we were merging our mail operation from 2 other states, and we were going to construct 1 building on the campus at a cost of $18 million, and we were going to hire 500 people. And what happened was our company was growing significantly, particularly in the 401k business. And we were growing all over the country. But at that particular time, we only had a regional presence in Texas and in Utah. So Kentucky was the first, or I should say the third site, but the first one built out of the ground. So all of the buildings are Fidelity buildings, constructed, some of which are LEED certified, and I know that's something very near and dear to Malcolm's heart with the Hampton Inn, where I happen to be staying. It's a great room, by the way, Malcolm, thank you. And Fidelity is very, very focused on doing the right thing, be it for its customers, but certainly in the community. And moving forward, we, like all of you in this room, are focused on workforce. And we've been fortunate because where we're located, our labor pool really draws primarily from the greater Cincinnati metropolitan region. We do get some grads from UK and U of L and some of the other institutions that decide to pursue financial service career in the greater Cincinnati region and come to work for us. But by and large, it's generally that area where the University of Cincinnati, Xavier University, Northern Kentucky University reside, and we draw a lot of talent from those institutions in particular. And our campus is designed to create an environment that is certainly not only productive but comfortable for our associates. So we have some of the top amenities offered for any employer, certainly in our region, and I would argue probably the state of Kentucky. In fact, we hosted Governor Bevin on our campus June 9th, and we were sharing with him some of the things that Fidelity does for its associates. The visual cues were clear. We have corporate dining in every building. We have a wellness center. So if you're not feeling well, you can go down and see 2 nurse practitioners and have a prescription written right on the spot. We have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week fitness center. We have walking trails. And more recently, we just extended our parental leave benefits, and we introduced a new student debt repayment program. This is targeted specifically at millennials who are coming out of school, as all of us well know, with a great deal of debt. And we're working with them to pay down that debt much sooner than they would otherwise. So we're like a lot of you in this room, we're attempting to be innovative. We're wanting to accommodate to the best of our ability opportunities for the workforce, and not just the millennials, but those folks like myself who have been with the company 20 plus years. and it's a top-of-mind issue for all of us each and every day we come into work. And also, Adam mentioned in the introduction Fidelity Cares, or our community relations work. I also head up that department for Fidelity in this part of the country, and really that's about improving the lives of those individuals that live and work where we have a physical footprint. And it's largely centered on education and financial literacy. And we're doing some really exciting programs, and we're exploring some things that we might roll out on a statewide scale around financial literacy. So more to come on that. It's important to note that, large employers like Fidelity, Toyota, UPS, Humana, we will all want to see Kentucky move forward. And we all have a serious stake, as all of you in this room do, in what happens in Frankfort. We need a professional advocate that brings businesses together to fight for a strong economic climate, a fair tax code, a common sense approach to regulatory laws, and strong education system, as I just alluded to produce our workforce for the future. That's why the president of Toyota in Georgetown, Will James, was at this podium just a year ago talking to you about Toyota, but also talking to you about the importance of workforce development. And Will is another great example of a business leader in this state who is contributing on a very large scale to try to move Kentucky forward, not only in the Georgetown area where their auto plant is located, but certainly throughout the Commonwealth. And it's not just big employers, and this I want to really emphasize because this is important. When I worked for a chamber back in the early 90s, the emphasis really seemed to be on big business. And a lot of, I remember then, a lot of mid-sized and smaller sized companies would voice their opinion that it seemed like the chamber was catering more to the large businesses. And this doesn't happen without everybody having an oar in the water. Whether you're a large company, a mid-sized company, or a small company, and that's certainly well represented in this room. Companies like Adkisson Energy here in Owensboro, Modern Welding, MPD, and Domtar in Hancock County are active supporters of this chamber. They know the future of business is tied to the fate of Kentucky, and they're doing what they can individually and collectively to support that. And it also includes small employers like EM Ford, the Malcolm Bryant Corporation, although Malcolm's now got a pretty good string of small businesses underway, Big River Rubber and Gasket, and many others here in Owensboro, again, who want to see Kentucky move forward and make progress. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't happen by us wishing that it happens, just hoping that it happens. The voice of business has to be strong, it has to be clear, it has to be concise in the halls of Frankfort, it has to be that way in the legislature, in the governor's office certainly, and in our nation's capital. So I want to thank all of the businesses in Owensboro that are members of the state chamber, as well as being members of this great Chamber of Commerce here in Owensboro. So what I'd like to do at this time is share with you a video. It's about 6 minutes in length that we unveiled at our business summit recently in Louisville. And this will kind of give you a real high-level overview of some of the issues that we have been addressing and some of the progress we've made on those particular issues.
This past year has been exceptional for the Kentucky Chamber on several fronts. Our policy agenda, the 2016 legislative session, which was probably the best session for business in recent memory, and in terms of offering programs for our members, it was a banner year. A year ago, we laid out a vision for the Commonwealth of 4 pillars for prosperity in the hope that we could bring some focus during the governor's race on key economic issues. Our 4 pillars are a healthy and skilled workforce, a sustainable state government, 21st century infrastructure, and aggressive job creation. One of the strides we made under the workforce pillar was publishing a major report on Kentucky's workforce challenges, and through that, calling for changes in how programs are administered. Working with the Pritchard Committee on Academic Excellence, we also released a Citizen's Guide to Kentucky Education to give a 25-year perspective on where we've been and where we need to go. We also kicked off the Slam Dunk Kentucky campaign aimed at helping build on the momentum in Kentucky schools and promoting the state's high academic standards. We hosted a higher education symposium at our headquarters in June to bring experts from other states in to discuss results-based funding. And finally, we celebrated our 5th year of the Leadership Institute for School Principals. Since 2011, the program has sent more than 250 principals for executive level leadership training at the Center for Creative Leadership in North Carolina. In our first 5 years, Chamber members have contributed more than $2.5 million to help make this program possible. When we talk about the second pillar, sustainable state government, we mean a state government that provides its basic services, pays its bills, and keeps its promises. Of course, this past year saw a governor's race, and the Chamber was there to give it a business focus. We interviewed the candidates, we published a voter's guide on business issues, and we staged a debate here at the summit. We worked hard to get Kentucky's pension crisis at the forefront of that dialogue. With the new governor inaugurated in December, and specifically with his budget address in January, the Chamber's 10-year campaign to address the pension problem got a major boost with the 2016 General Assembly. Alongside our lobbying effort in the session, the Chamber's Public Pension Task Force published a Citizen's Guide to the Pension Crisis and built a campaign around Frankfort being underwater. We also invited the Pew Charitable Trust back to Kentucky to do a 3-year checkup on our 2013 pension reforms to make sure we're still on track. To his credit, Governor Bevin built his budget around pensions, and the legislature gave him most of what he called for. And while there were painful cuts, the overall budget and the lack of the usual borrowing to make ends meet made for a relatively responsible plan. We were generally pleased. It sent a major message to Wall Street. Kentucky is getting its house in order. We know there is much more work to be done, but it was a huge step. Infrastructure is a critical piece of economic growth. 2016 saw the Chamber's public-private partnerships legislation passed, giving a major boost to what we refer to as P3 and providing the opportunity for private businesses and private money to help solve some of our public infrastructure challenges. It started with the Chamber publishing its report 3 years ago called Private Solutions to Public Problems. We formed a major coalition of business interests, lobbied for 3 years, and despite setbacks in the previous years, we were able to gain strong bipartisan support in 2016 to get P3 passed. We'll be sponsoring a summit later this year to demonstrate P3 success stories from other states. The passage of P3 sent a message that Kentucky is open for business. When it comes to job creation, nothing matters more than the overall business climate. In 2016, the Chamber provided the added push needed to get a felony expungement bill that had languished in the legislature for 10 years, and together with a variety of social justice groups, we finally got it passed. After focusing on the workforce benefits of getting former non-violent offenders into productive jobs and carefully negotiating safeguards for businesses that might hire former offenders, the Chamber added its lobbying resources to the Smart on Crime Coalition and got the bill across the finish line. The Chamber also lobbied successfully for the long overdue passage of a hospitality measure that assists Kentucky distillers, wineries, and brewers by modernizing alcohol laws and putting producers on a level playing field. We were successful in getting a workers' compensation task force created that will make recommendations about the system and how to improve our business climate with common sense reforms. To promote entrepreneurism, the Chamber signed an agreement with Awesome Inc. of Lexington to professionally manage the Kentucky Entrepreneurs Hall of Fame program and build it into the showcase that it deserves to be. Our Chamber motto is Uniting Business, Advancing Kentucky. We listen to our members. We present a vision for Kentucky. We back it up with solid research and policy. We work with our elected officials to get good legislation introduced, and we get Chamber members involved in talking to their legislators. We work behind the scenes to get good bills passed. That's how we create progress for Kentucky. Almost every year, the Kentucky Chamber is named the top advocacy organization for its investment in lobbying the legislature. Why would we invest that much? Because there are hundreds of bills that could affect your ability to do business in Kentucky. We cull through them and focus our efforts on a few dozen that are the most important and most urgent. Meanwhile, we're doing the things that a business association does, putting on dozens of training seminars each year, offering discount programs to our members, and generally helping our members get the information they need to run profitable businesses. With a strong and diverse board of directors in the driver's seat, a professional staff working daily to unite business and advance Kentucky, and some significant momentum from recent successes, we are confident that great things are in the works for our Commonwealth.
So that was just a very high-level brief overview of what the Chamber is engaged in, what we're supporting, and certainly that doesn't happen without the support and participation of those of you in this room. And I think it goes without saying, we have an incredible 1-2 punch in the Owensboro Chamber and the Kentucky State Chamber, and I think we should all feel relatively optimistic about the future in terms of addressing some of these critical issues that we have before us. So what I'd like to do in closing is attempt to leave you with a bit of a smile on your face. Like you know, I pursue many interests and passions. This year, in addition to my day job, as I referenced at Fidelity, it's been serving as the Kentucky Chamber Chair, which has been just a wonderful opportunity for me personally and professionally. The other thing that I like to do in my spare time is I front a classic rock and roll cover band. The name of the band, as you can see up here in the pit, well, you can't see the name, you can see us in the band, is Shut Up and Drive. And the reason I'm showing you this is recently it struck me how many parallels there are between chamber work and playing in a rock band. So bear with me here a moment. So if you think about the drummer, what does the drummer do? Provides the tempo and the beat. The bass guitar provides the rhythm, supporting the beat and the tempo of the drums. Those two are very, very important for any song you listen to, the bass guitar and the drums. The guitar provides the tone, ramping up the energy of the song or tamping it down. And of course, the vocals are the voice of the song, emoting the melody. So the symmetry of the chamber and the work that they do and the volunteer leadership, for me, strike a similar chord, pun intended, relative to influencing thought, evoking passion, driving behavior, and action. Or think of it this way. The first question put to this organization, be it the Owensboro Chamber or the Kentucky State Chamber, is, who are you? What do you stand for, and who do you represent? Are you taking care of business, addressing and solving the needs of members and advocating effectively on their behalf? What we do individually and collectively every day requires a whole lot of love. Building relationships, understanding the complexities of an issue, exhibiting mutual respect. No question we have a number of great challenges ahead, but we're also, as I mentioned just a moment ago, presented with great opportunities and promise. Remember, together, uniting business and advancing Kentucky, we can accomplish great things. In the words and music of Neil Sean, Ross Valore, Steve Smith, Jonathan Kane, and Steve Perry, don't stop believing. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Have a great day. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dave Adkisson, who is the President and CEO of the Kentucky Chamber, to come up here and make a special presentation.
Thanks very much, Candy, for inviting us here and for you all to hear the chairman of our board. Kevin's a leading businessman in this state, and one of the blessings of my life is that I get to work with some of the most successful business leaders around the state, and it's been a joy working with Kevin this year. The Kentucky Chamber's work, as the video showed, is mostly involved in the policy development in Frankfort. We work with the legislature, we work with the governor's office, sometimes we're in the courtroom on behalf of business. After each session of the legislature, we publish what we call results for business. And it's available online at our website. I have some hard copies in the car if you really want one. But it's the voting record of your representatives and all the senators and representatives around the state. And that gives their track record of, in our opinion, whether they're helping business or not helping business. And we're very frank about that, but in an honest and open, hopefully a good faith way. A few years ago, we created a new award called the MVP, Most Valuable Player Award. And we present it to a very, very small number of our elected officials. There are 100 representatives, there are 38 senators, 138. This year, we presented 8 MVP awards. And with that award, we present a Louisville Slugger. Now, it's dangerous to give a weapon like this in Frankfurt. You never know what will happen. You know, we had a gun go off at the Capitol year before last. But I'm really honored to come to Owensboro today, not only to hear Kevin, but also to present this award to Joe Bowman. And Joe, if you would come up here. This is not for a legislator's voting record, although the voting record is important and we publish those. And Joe's voting record with business is outstanding. It's more for a conspicuous display of an effort to try to advance the business agenda. It might be introducing a bill, it might be addressing one of our top priorities, it might be a floor speech that turns out to be pivotal on a key vote. This year, only 8 awards are going to representatives and senators around the state. He chairs the State and Local Government Committee, which is extremely important on issues like pensions. That's a big one. When I go to Joe's office, sometimes I'll take one of our lobbying staff with me, and I know they roll their eyes because they know they're going to have to sit through about 30 minutes of Joe and me talking about Owensboro and barbecue and things like that. But it's a joy to work with him. I wish we had more Joe Bowens in the legislature. You all are well represented in this community, but other communities aren't that fortunate. And Joe is just a model. So with that, I would like to present him an engraved Louisville Slugger with his name on it, and to thank him for being a most valuable player for the business community in Kentucky.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you all of you folks in my district for giving me the opportunity to go to Frankfurt and represent you. And just real quickly, I want to say that, you know, you don't set out to receive awards like these. You set out to promote good public policy. And if these awards come along with that, so be it. But I will tell you that when you are on track to promote what you perceive to be good public policy, and you have a willing partner like the state chamber, it really makes things easier. When you can look over your shoulder and you can see the cavalry behind you, helping you promote what you perceive to be good public policy, it's a good feeling. I've done it the other way. I've looked over my shoulder and there wasn't anybody behind me. So Dave, thank you for being an advocate for what we both know is important to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and always being willing to help me along in promoting what we know is good public policy for all of you all. Thank you very much.
Another award to give out this morning. This is really exciting too. So a couple of months ago, USA Today named 10 of the best festivals in the United States. And our very own International Barbecue Festival was the recipient of one of those awards. By the way, this looks awesome. And we're going to present this morning to Sharon, who's here with the Barbecue Festival, I believe. Come on up, Sharon. Big round of applause. Reader's Choice Award for the 10 USA Today Best Festivals in the United States. Right? Wipe the smudge off. Oh, sure.
Our festival board has its first meeting this coming Monday to start planning for May 2017. And this is something I'll be very proud to show them for their hard work, but it's not the festival's award, it's your all's award. Thank you for everybody that voted, and if you haven't been to the festival for a long time, please come. It's amazing with our downtown development and the support we have. Thank you all so much.
And before we go, keeping this whole spirit of award giving continuing. Of course, Friday night's huge. The start of the 2016 Olympics in Rio. So we were thinking, Owensboro has lots of things in place already. State-of-the-art facilities, and some facilities, quite honestly, that could be state-of-the-art. So we thought Los Angeles is making a pitch for 2024, so why not Owensboro, Kentucky, right? Right? Okay, now, you have to have vision. That's what being a business leader is all about. So work with me here, but we're going to walk through some of our suggestions on how this great city can host the 2024 Olympics. Candy? We already have the theme music, right? All right. Every Olympics must have a torch. Well, guess what? We already have an Olympic cauldron, right? Applause, that's great. And I will say too, because of Keith Kane, we already have an established torch run. Let's just bring the world to Owensboro and have that torch run in there. Okay, now this is, you may have to have a lot of vision with this one, but let's do it. Olympic Village, anyone? Thank you. And I will say, I've seen the accommodations in Rio, and we can do better. All right. We have world-class swimming facility. Hey, Lily King, a graduate of Wrights High School in Evansville, is the gold medal favorite in the 100-meter breaststroke at the Rio Olympics. Why not have her win Olympic gold at home? That would be incredible. All right, our fourth slide. We've got dragon boats. Why not Olympic rowing? Why not house the women's eights, the men's eights in the mighty Ohio River? And finally, vision required? Olympic hockey? Too soon? Folks, thank you for joining us. We will see you in September at Rooster.